Conscious of your maker, the one who created you from a single soul, who is Adam, and from it he created Hawa, he created its spouse, and from the two of them he caused a multitude to spread on the earth. From the two of them, fear him or be conscious of him and understand you are answerable to him. Allah says, wattaqullaha, and be fearful of Allah, be mindful of Allah, be conscious of Allah. Alladhi tasa'aluna bih, the one whose name you use when you are asking one another, or you want someone to believe you, or you want to believe them, you want them to use the name of Allah. This verse is making mention of how sacred the name of Allah is. Be conscious of that Allah whose name you consider so sacred. Allahu Akbar. And be conscious of the wombs. What's the meaning of the wombs? The female, the women, your mother, your sister, your wife, your daughter. Be conscious of them and their right over you. Are you fulfilling it or not? Allahu Akbar. And Allah says, Inna Allaha kana alaykum raqiban. Allah is very, very watchful over you. Raqib, someone who is watching very carefully, taking note of that which is going on. So behind closed doors, watch out how you treat your women. Be careful, your mother, your daughter, your wife, your spouse, meaning your sister and so on. Be careful. Allah says, I am watching. And Allah is all watchful. That is the first verse. Allah is warning us to say, be careful. The womb that gave birth to you and the womb that gave birth to your children. I want to stop there for a moment. Today we look for any reason to break the marriage. Do you know that? Any problem, we look for that which will make us part ways. Why is it that our fathers and the previous generations lasted longer? Because they did the opposite. What did they do? They looked for the smallest reason to hold the marriage together. That's the difference. We look for the smallest reason to break it. We have stopped helping our spouses through a problem. We rather opt out of the problem. That is a crisis. You will never live happily ever after. You caught your husband doing something wrong. Two things. Immediately today, they would say, I'm going home, I want a divorce. Out. Why? Because one thing went wrong, the man made a mistake, something happened, he fell into the trap of shaitan, and now the house must be broken. That is stupidity and foolishness. It really, if a house was supposed to be broken for a mistake of a man or a woman, all our houses would be broken by now. Every one of them. Tell me who has not made a mistake here. Allahu Akbar. Obviously mistakes are of a different nature. We are not talking of certain types of errors that are sometimes perhaps beyond a certain limit. No, but we are talking of errors and mistakes. Sometimes things do occur. A while back, when the spouse made a mistake, the wife would say, look, this is very bad. I will not, expose you to others. I will try and help you. You need really to stop doing this. And she bore not only patience, because nowadays the young girls don't like the word sabr. Sometimes young boys and girls, you tell them make sabr, they say, you are one of those mullahs who came from Afghanistan. What do you think, man? We must sit and make sabr. Well, to be honest with you, there are people in the Western world who also make sabr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us goodness. Sabr is a beautiful word. Allah calls it beautiful. Isbir sabran jamilan. Bear patience, a beautiful patience. So, instead of bearing patience, what they want, they don't want to bear patience anymore. Small thing and it's gone. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us goodness. As I was saying, a while back, a problem happens, they would help each other through the difficulty. I know of cases, and I'm sure your parents and grandparents, whose financial condition was so bad that they did not have a house which was decent to live in, but the marriage did not break. Today, you don't have a washing machine at home. She says, I want to go home. I need a divorce. Why? You think I'm going to wash? She's a princess, brought up being called my princess by her father. Now she's not used to lifting one spoon. Allahu Akbar. One spoon, I can't. Why? Where is the servant? Otherwise I'm going home. This is why we tell those who are wealthy, may Allah grant you barakah in your wealth. Remember, do not allow that wealth to create a standard of daughter who will not be able to be a wife of someone else. Remember this. Because when you have brought up a princess, you can only get her married to a king. Remember that. And as I told you, there is a shortage of kings. So what will happen? She will go and she will say, in my father's home, I never cooked. So now you're sitting back. My fathers and mothers who are here today, let me explain. Even if you are from a good home, that is, Allah has blessed with wealth, get your daughters trained to do the certain duties that they may have within the home. That is what it is. And I don't even want to get into the debate as to should she cook in the house or should she not cook. What is this? Wallahi, look, when there is a role to be fulfilled, you fulfill it. We have not got to a point where we want to argue and we want to mix and we want to do this and that. In Islam, we believe that men and women are equal, equality in terms of spirituality, but physically they are different, emotionally they are different, and their roles that they need to play in terms of their gender is absolutely and totally different. We believe this. And the whole world agrees with it. And I've told you in the past in this city that there are loos that you will find even outside this hall. There is a picture of a man and a woman which says this toilet is for males and that is for ladies, gents and ladies. Why do they have separate toilets? Because they admit and they agree that the people are different. Physically they are different, emotionally they are different. And to be honest with you, when I entered one public loo in one of the airports, I was shocked because two men entered holding hands. I said, this is more dangerous than having a loo which is mixed. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, may Allah safeguard us. When you see two men holding hands, hugging each other, entering the loo, you are supposed to be worried. They should have a separate toilet for those type of people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us protection. This is society. And these are things we have seen, and sometimes they are hidden from the eye of the innocent. Sometimes you have an old elderly person, he's never seen those things, he's not bothered, he doesn't know how the internet works and so on. I am surprised. I want to tell you, Sri Lankans are some of the most advanced when it comes to the internet. Believe me, very advanced. Indians and this part of the world, completely. You will find everybody, you want to get a message across, one little tweet, the dunya knows about it. It's a fact. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala safeguard us. So this is why, my brothers and sisters, we say and we repeat and we reiterate, we need to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to ask Allah for guidance and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open our doors. The verse that I read, the first verse of that khutbah, Allah is warning us, watch out how you treat your women. Look at what happens. Like I said, do not break your marriage because of one thing or two things or five things. No. Your duty is to work hard. I know of cases, and I'm sure you would. Like I said, your parents and grandparents, perhaps they did not even have proper homes, and yet your grandmothers and mothers lived with them. That is when you were born, and that is how you grew up without shoes. Today, if your husband cannot afford a shoe and your husband has lost his job, people say, I'm going home. Why? Because my lipstick you can't afford anymore. Allahu Akbar. May Allah safeguard us.